Welcome to the Feminae Christi Podcast, a labor of universal love in service to restoring the divine feminine principle, spoken through wisdom, eternal love, and devotion to immaculate truth. I'm your host, Salwa, here in sacred devotion to walking this journey with you, not from a place of above or below, but from within. Hi, welcome to the Feminae Christi Podcast, episode 4. Don't love the word episodes because these are truly transmissions that are building upon each other to activate your sovereign inner temple. But I'm trying to use that word with humans to understand what they are receiving. And if you're new, I encourage you to please watch from the beginning. This is an energetic container. This is sacred space. And as I'm speaking and illustrating principles that are big, they're also being spoken in a way that is very receivable and will meet you where you're at. Which means that you might listen to an episode now and then listen to it a month later and receive so much differently. And beyond that, there's also energetic transmissions going on. So for you to fully receive, I encourage you to watch from the start if you're new and go back to episode 1. And of course, you're free to do whatever you want. That's just my guidance. But thank you for being here. If you are listening on Spotify, know that you can watch on video. And if you are watching on YouTube, know that you can switch off to listen on podcast. All right. I'm going to just be fully transparent here and let you guys know that they wanted me to just hop on fully raw, vulnerable, as I have just been holding sacred space for Universal Temple of Light. Just had a beautiful, massively potent ceremonial retreat. And when the ship of Salwa is landing back on planet Earth, trying to be, grounded enough to know, what am I doing here again? What's next? I knew Feminae Christi recording day was going to fall sometime in the integration week. And being that I am so open and raw, like even more than usual, I'm a little inquisitive of what's going to come up because I have been feeling this pull from them to share more personal demonstrations of, we're just going to call them miracles. And that is the word that they gave to me because they said Salwa. They don't call me Salwa. They call me something else. It's really nice though. Don't worry. But they let me know if you are not comfortable speaking about your modern day miracles, and how can you help others believe that they are possible? How can you restore the belief and the knowing that a miracle is when the divine has mastered at a universal level laws of entrapment in the human form? And how can others have hope of attaining these glimpses of divine orchestration, of divine speaking to us in a way that is just so in your face, cannot ignore it. It is what it is. How can you help restore that if you don't speak about it? So of course I'm like, that's a really good point. Okay, I'll hit record. I know what I want to speak on today because we are on this trajectory and it's very important that we go into the next sphere, but that's all I know. And I feel like somewhere in the conversation that we have here today, there's going to be weavings of personal shares. I said, sure, use me. I'm here. I'm the example. I will share what there is to share as long as it serves. And as long as I have my lipstick on and my cute necklace so that I can at least feel like I controlled something. So there we go. Okay. As you know, if you've been following along, we were just in the planetary sphere of darkness. That one got 2 episodes because it was just so massive and what we're living in. Like I said, if you're new here, please go back and start in the beginning. This will all make more sense. So we are moving on to the next one. And the next one is a word that we love. I didn't know for the longest time that this word would be considered a darkness to be mastered or a planetary sphere of dissension. And the word and the energy and the sphere, desire. Desire. I can't tell you how many people I have worked with on a one-on-one level where what brings them to seek guidance is stemmed from their desires. It is stemmed from their desires and their inability to comprehend what is happening. So I am all in for speaking on desire, but I want you to know that if you have been speaking of desire lately, or even working to graduate the word need to desire, which is great, I don't want you to have any shame as we go on this roller coaster ride of desire and understanding what it is. I promise you that at the end of the ride, you will arrive with your hands up, screaming with joy that you understand it. But as we enter the discussion, don't go into, oh, I just spoke that I desire that. Am I in the darkness? No, you're not in the darkness. You are in the potentiality of understanding something with a greater light. Like, how awesome is that? That is what you are. So let's go into desire. As I was talking to my team, trying to understand a couple intricacies of desire and how that dictates life force energy and how it is possible for us to still be in this human experience and work with desire, but not let desire run us. There's a couple of traps that desire holds. Because those traps are there, they're also a potential for us to rise more into our power, understanding our desires and coming at them from a place of holy desire. And that is the magic. That is where we have transcended this sphere to a place where we can be on our way to fully activating our Christ blueprint. When I say the word desire, I'm sure that something comes to your mind, heart, soul. Just take a second and say it to yourself in your mind. What is something that you currently desire? The trap of desire that we seldomly are aware of is that we think that our heart desires something, but truly at a soul fragmented level, we are believing that it is outside of us. And it is an innate human essence to desire something because we started at the monad. We started straight at source where there was no separation. So as we started to separate and fragment our soul to be able to have experiences, especially here on this planet, it is natural that our soul knows that there is some separation. There is some separation and it remembers. And as it remembers, it also remembers more of that separation. So the journey of remembering is divine, but it's also I just said this in a reel and it's going to apply here. It's also the fuck. Like, it's like so divine, but like the fuck, because the minute you go into the bliss of remembering and having that unity and that love, then it's like the fuck, did I choose this then? If that's how it could be, why am I here? And how do I bring that here? And we feel like it's this competition. And so when we desire something, it's because we want to emanate more of this divineness. We want to be back at that wholeness. And our soul remembers that it had to go through some defuckness to be here. And we are desiring things that we perceive brings us back to that. Notice how I said perceive. We perceive that the desire, once fulfilled, will get us closer to source. That is the trap. The trap is that desire is attached to what you get when you have received that desire. So let's say your desire is relationship. Like a lot of people desire a relationship, right? A lot of people desire physical intimacy. A lot of people desire money. Okay, let's go with relationship because that's in its own little genre. You are walking around claiming and owning that you desire a relationship. Great. Your soul in its defuckness, and just metaphorical, guys. I'm not saying that you are like a defuck. I'm just saying that in this realm, the soul remembers that there's some fragmentation and there's moments where we can't help but feel like what is missing for me to feel that wholeness and go seeking it externally. So you're here in this state of defuckness. Like, I'm ready for this. I want a partner. Where are they? I'm a great person. I've done the work. And now you desire a relationship. While you're in the state of desiring relationship, your soul is tuning in to the remembrance that it does not have relationship. It is therefore entering this state of resonance discord. Because as a soul level, you are perceiving that that is going to be the thing that brings you into wholeness. And as long as you are in the desire of it, you have created the space within for it, but from a place of lack. Your soul is not divinely woven into form with any need. It has remembrance of its wholeness, its holiness, its oneness with source. So as we create desires that we perceive are going to be like this glue to like bring us back to source, we are actually creating more fragmentation because our soul is carrying now the sorrow of lack, of not having. And what happens when we're carrying that energy of lack, of not having, of feeling that missing? Then we create very short-lived moments in our life that come show us the difference between having that true union with God and having that short-lived, outside of you seeking desire. Because you have contractual agreement with your own soul to learn things. So your soul wants you to know, well, this is what it's like when you're in a state of desiring. You're going to be chasing. You're going to be having these short-lived dopamine boosts. You're going to be having the things that keep you feeling like connection to God is something outside of you until you have no option but to be brought to your knees and cry, and whatever come to Yeshua moment is needed for you to realize that the only desire that you really need to live with is the holy desire to be one with God within. Here's another form of desire. You desire money. You desire money because you know that you are a very hard-working soul and you are here and you are doing it day by day. And it's like, where's my abundance? I desire abundance. Okay. Desire alarm goes off, ding, 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 to the soul. They are now needing to learn the lesson that they are abundant within always. How do we show that and reflect that, which they perceive they don't have? By creating more of the same. So in your desire state for abundance, in your desire state to show yourself that you're worthy of abundance, or desire state to show yourself that you're worthy of a great catch because you're a catch, in your desired state, you're actually carving in a space that creates the inner lack. And the inner lack is going to show you until you are ready to just surrender and be brought to your knees, that what you desire is already inside of you. So desiring is not the way. Okay. So we don't want to desire, but can we have a holy desire? And this is the exchange that I had with Yeshua 2 years ago. I wanted to understand the holy desire. I'm like, I feel a massive holy desire for, and I just started naming it. All of my holy desires have been more of how I want to make an impact here. So that's where I have gotten this conversation. I'm like, this is not a desire for me. This is a holy desire. Is that allowed? Like, can we have a holy desire? I mean, I desire for my sister to see this about her. I don't desire for her to see it in me, but I guess if that's part of the process, that it has to be by way of her seeing it in me first, but it's always been about them. So I got into the conversation with Yeshua of the holy desire and how that's different. And the huge turning point is that in a holy desire, you are no longer doing it to bring yourself perceivingly closer to God. You are doing it to desire to bring others closer to God. And that is how we transcend desire. So your relationship that you want, can you spend time in that desire of relationship that you desire? Wow, how many times are we going to say desire today? A lot. Can you sit in that feeling of desiring it? And allow your heart to feel maybe the pain that it has felt in not having it, and acknowledge that pain, or acknowledge the pain of feeling like you have to live in scarcity because you're not getting paid your worth, or the desire of more people having eyes and ears to see and hear what you're putting out in the world, whatever it is that you desire. Insert there. Can you sit in the space of that desire and make peace with it and shine a little bit of light on the perceived pain that desire brings? And that's ultimately what we want to heal you and free you from. We want to free you from the pain that desire carries, because desire is an agent of separation. It's an agent of fragmentation. And it is the ego really stepping in to say, oh, you want this? Oh, but then you don't have this. So create the desire, and you're worth it. And then you start to want everybody to fulfill your desire. You walk around being this expectation for everybody to fulfill my desires. So sit with the pain of feeling like what I desire isn't here, and that perceived separation that is at the soul level. Sit with that. Let it be there. There's no shame with your desire once you have awareness of what it's ushering in. Now let's make it holy. Let's make that a holy desire, because that is how we transcend this planetary sphere that wants to actually show that what we want and what our divine inheritance wants us to have is something outside of us. See how tricky desire is? It wants to work with what you at a soul level know that you're worthy of, but it wants to place you outside of it so that you are stuck in this loop of forever seeking. So desire, but make it holy. Okay, let's have that holy desire, that partnership, that sacred union that you want. whether it's in romantic life, whether you want it in a friend and somebody to mission with, whatever, let's bring it to the forefront. Feel into the desire, feel into the moments where you have felt lonely, or maybe you have not had the ability to experience that reflected back to you, which you think that you put out in the world, a lot of love. Whatever that feels like, let yourself have a moment of being sad about it. That's okay. All emotions serve as long as we move through them and we don't let them spiral us down. So let yourself have a moment and then release it. Release the grief of that which you perceive that you desire because you do not have. That aspect of your soul is creating more separation. So cry with it. I release this feeling of desiring a relationship. I release this feeling of desiring more money. I release whatever it is that you need to release, that you have desire for. Release it. But now, here's the beautiful part. You're not just releasing it. You are releasing it to God. You're releasing it to the divine as an offering, saying, I wanted this as an agent to bring me closer to you. I didn't know that it was creating the opposite effect for my soul. So I bring it forth as my offering to the divine. What you desire, give it to God. You know that saying, let go and let God? It is as if you are just bringing your offering to the altar of God, and it is acknowledging that something is important to you, but it is also acknowledging that you are free and safe to hand it over to a larger orchestrating hand, to return it to you from a place of holy desire. And when that desire becomes holy, you also have this contractual agreement with the divine that it is going to be for the good of all. My desire only serves if it is holy. It can only be holy if it is for the good of the whole. And that is how we free ourselves from this planetary sphere of desire, which can really put us in this place of entitlement and lack and walking around feeling empty. Make it holy. Offer something to God. Define the desires. Define the proper words to offer it to God in prayer, and surrender the how it's going to show up, the when, and surrender that when it shows up, it is all for you. It is not for you. It is not about you. It is for a greater good when a desire is holy. That is how we free ourselves from the planetary sphere of desire. Now, I want to talk to you about a personal share that I'm being asked to share. Oh my gosh, how do we put this one into words? I believe that there is a place, a space, a next level to transcend desire. From desire to holy desire to devotion. And devotion is where I live. That is how I live. And that is a word that I think is heard a lot, but I don't know if it's exemplified enough. And because of that, my team wants me to share this personal example. And now I'm like, oh, even my toe is cramping right now, guys. The one I'm sitting on, it hurts. That toe has also been broken twice when I was feeling like I was pulling back from my power in different ways. Now it's just like, reminder, we don't hold back. It's not that I hold back. Let me just disclaimer. It's just that I have had so many things happen in my life that I'm used to bringing them to the observation pool of the life of Salwa and discerning that's just going to go in the book of Salwa one day, because no one's going to receive that until I'm out of here and the book is just there. Like, I just don't know how anybody can believe all of this to be true and receive it as true, even though there's so I have observed my life as the life of Salwa, and then I've been pulling things that I'll share one day in the book of Salwa. And that feels really good. And also there's the information that I receive, like at my light council meetings. Those are high security clearance. And I don't believe that it would serve for me to share some things. So I do keep in mind, like, what serves, what's going to go in the book of Salwa one day, what's going to make you sound like a wackadoodle right now. Like, so for this instance, now we're going into devotion. They want me to share what it's like to live in devotion and an example and embodied action of what that has taken. For me in particular, I hope I can talk about this without crying. It might be hard. Why are we crying? Okay, see, even the word devotion, I can't talk about it without crying because I know what that has asked of me and it continues to. So I'm just feeling the bigness of it. But I will give an example. And it's a happy example. Don't let this fool you. So what devotion has asked of me upon me seeking it? Because devotion doesn't just show up. I believe that it's a calling. As you guys have watched episode 1, I mean, you know the weird ass kid that I was. Sorry, not weird ass. I'm going to apologize to little Salwa. She remembered she was here to be devoted to Christ. So she remembered. She remembered devotion was a calling. My birth story, I believe that my soul knew its calling of devotion and showed up with it. And that is why I was not supposed to make it. I was a miracle birth. I was a miracle baby. First 7 days of my life were spent with nuns preparing me for death. That was a role because the doctors didn't want my mom to meet me because they said, she's not going to make it. We don't want you to get attached. She's not here to stay. So I had 7 days with nuns doing holy, I don't know, guacamole, doing something to prepare me for death. They baptized me. My first name through them, Maria. Maria. The nuns did everything for 7 days. I believe those 7 days, my soul was in preparation for things that I didn't even know that I was going to be doing. Got to meet my parents after 7. They were like, she is Salwa. And so that other baptism, thank you, nuns, but no. And all good, right? So I think my soul, from that, and then my childhood, having my altar, my relationship with Yeshua, I'm like, devotion is a calling. But I also believe that it's important that we all understand that devotion is a way of life and that can look different for different people. So when I share with you my examples of how my devotion has asked certain things of me, I don't want you to receive it as, oh, I'm devoted, then I've got to do the same. No, you make the time and space to understand what devotion looks like for you. And it doesn't make my example better, less than, or vice versa. It means that we are all just hanging on to a thread of devotion, which is how we can really rise this Christ principle on this planet, being devoted to a greater good, a greater faith, a greater love. So circle back. Birth. I do believe that my devotion is something that my soul contracted to remember from the start. And I do believe that in those 7 days with the nuns preparing me for my graduation, that there were things that my team was working with through me to remember and click into place when it was time, knowing that it wasn't going to be time for a hot minute. So for story time, to get us to where I am now on my devoted path, gave a little insight of my birth, because I think that when I just clicked dots together, and that's when the devotion calling came through for me. And that's why I spent my childhood thinking I want to be a nun, because I'm like, clearly Yeshua is recruiting me. This is how you do devotion. This is it. I'm going to go back to 2023. 2023. I am in one of my Universal Council Light meetings, which these meetings, guys, just to clarify in case anybody has any questions around this is not like a plant medicine journey. This is I understand my team. I get summoned for a meeting. I show up for a mission and assignment. It's not to discredit a plant medicine journey, because those are very potent, but it is different in that there had to be enough work, attunement, remembrance, activation, and remembrance from lifetimes of initiations, not just this one, to be able to regather the team, the crew, that is my crew, and get to work and have these meetings. When they first started, they were very, very hard on me. They were very hard. I would need to recover for days, because it's just not normal to be in these frequencies and in your human vessel, even though I'm sure sometimes I left. It took a while to acclimate. I can do them so much more efficiently now. So I'll say that. A lot of reverence. These are not journeys. These are Universal Council Light meetings. So I'm in my meeting and they're showing me this beautiful spiral staircase that is going to Universal Library of Consciousness that I have access to. I'm going and it's great. I'm like, yes, I'm going in. Everything's going to be used for so much reverence. I hope I don't get zapped too much, because this is starting to feel intense, but oh, all of a sudden this abrupt stop. It's time to release Tony. I'm like, what? No, I am just in like disbelief. Like, what do you mean it's time to release Tony? Tony's my partner. I'm going to try to put words without getting too emotional, but I had been through a divorce. I had outgrown my first. I've been through some pain around that. And I'm like, you're going to make me sacrifice my happily ever after to go and do this work? At that point, I went from sadness to like, fuck you guys. You really shouldn't talk to Universal Council like that. But I got a little ratchet. I'm like, fuck you guys. You're going to have me on this work. Do you even know how this makes me look? I'm going to release someone. They're going to think they're not good enough. And like, why? Why is this even worth it? How does this even serve? Like me going up there, like, wait, I'm just like, I am mad because at this point in my relationship, I don't see how or why there would be any need to release somebody that has brought so much joy to my life. That loves me, that loves my children. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm questioning this devotion to mission. Because right now I'm observing that I have access and mission clearance for something that someone that I love does not, and they can't come with, or I can't go there. And I'm like, how is this love? And so then I'm sitting with that. And then I'm also sitting with thinking about Peter, my first husband, and how, yeah, there was an outgrowing there. There was an outgrowing. And he was not evolving in any capacity. You couldn't even talk to Peter about horoscopes. So for him to even be a man that could hold me while I stepped into this work, it definitely had an expiration mark, but it had a beautiful purpose. But then I started to question that. I'm like, well, now you guys are going to have me outgrow Peter, and I'm going to outgrow Tony? Like, who do I think I am? And I started coming at me. I'm like, who do I think I am to be this mission aligned, devoted? I'm like, the words I'm using to come at me are not even like worth coming at because they're actually really admirable. But I am starting to come at me because I don't want to hurt somebody I love. And I'm challenging them. You don't want to challenge the Universal Council. Like, they don't mess around. They will remind you of the choices you made before coming here in a way where it's like, okay, you don't want to break up with Tony? That's okay. Go do the thing. That's pretty much what happened for the next year. And the next year was a little bit different. Our relationship was a little bit, that sounds like an alien, but I don't even know. And I started to witness some of the misalignments of which they spoke. I started to witness how much love and joy I had around this person, but how me reporting to the devoted mission was actually at times causing him suffering. I started to see the misalignments of like, if we both honor our highest truth, perhaps it's not as aligned. And sometimes the more you come into your highest truth, the more that you have to recognize new dynamics for those that you love. So I started to see it, but I was gonna just go all in. And I did. We went to Italy and we got engaged. I'm like, hi, what do you guys think about this? I'm laughing because this is like, life is a comedy sometimes, you guys. This planet is funny. We'll say this. I will banter in my workings with Yeshua. Yeshua was so funny. That's another thing. And Ascended Masters are so funny. And that is something that this realm doesn't want you to know because they want you to believe if you're going to be in the work, it's going to be serious. Yeshua was laughing all the time and all of those around him were laughing. And that is Christ consciousness, to be in that joy. So there's a moment where I was bantering with Yeshua and I'm like, we were so funny. We could have had our own comedy show. And he's like, we did. It's called Planet Earth. So sometimes I laugh at my moments because I'm like, this is the comedy that Yeshua speaks of. It's going to trigger somebody, but it's fine. But anyways, I'm going to lean in and I'm going to just do the thing. So I did the thing. Tony and I went to Italy, had a great time. We got engaged. And I'm like, maybe what they were testing me. This is the thing. Sometimes I get guidance from them. I'm like, maybe it's a test to see if I can like really choose this every day. Maybe they're testing me to see, will you choose mission or love? Now I'm like, well, why? There should never be a choice. Mission is love, right? But back then I was trying to come up with all the loopholes. And then comes January. I have now witnessed a couple months of the misalignment of which they spoke. Apparently they know what they're talking about in order to rise into the mission. and doesn't make anybody not good enough. It means different roles, different dynamics serve better, period. That's all that means. So I'm witnessing this, and it's manifesting in human stuff that is irrelevant. And I'm still hearing the guidance. But then one night, heard the words loud and clear, woke me up. It is time to become a devoted bride of Christ. I sit up. I'm like, who's here? I heard it. It was a little startling. Went back to bed. I'm engaged to Tony, who's sleeping next to me, and I'm hearing this, and I'm wondering, okay, this is a new level of devotion to the church, right? The church that is the children of God, that is the body of Christ. I'm like hearing it as, okay, it's a devotion thing. It has nothing to do with the guidance that I was receiving about releasing Tony. Nothing. This is different. Together, him and I serve Christ and the people. The message keeps coming through in the most random times. And I'm one of those people that I receive all the time very clearly. I know the energies with which I work, so I know when it's who, and I know the frequencies really well. This one, I know, but I'm like, prove it, right? We go into our humanist, prove it. I need a sign. And I made a joke too. I was like, well, listen, when somebody gets asked to be a devoted bride, they get a ring. Where's my ring? I was just like being stupid, right? Being stupid because I'm just trying to have comic relief at all the potential ways that I am misinterpreting something. But I set the intention, like, prove it. I need signs that this is something that I need to take action on other than just like receive it as like service. Things keep adding up with Tony. Things keep happening in our relationship where we both are in a point of knowing that we love each other so much, that we want to do right by each other so much, that the things that are coming up have to be coming up for something bigger. I know it. I don't know if he knows it, but I know it. In the back of my mind, I know that I'm having this guidance for leveling up my devotion in ways that will continue to be unfolded to me as I step into the next level of answering the call. But this call feels too big. And I was getting ready to host a sacred union retreat, couples retreat in March. So I thought, what a perfect time. What a perfect time, because anytime that I host sacred space, I always surrender myself from feeling like I'm above the work, even though I am very much responsible for holding the container and I do it with such devotion. I always know that I'm going to receive too. So my intention for this was just, can I please have some clarity on what this means? Is it time to release Tony? Are we complete? Is it time to release it in a way where we're going to rise into a healthier dynamic? Not a pained one, not a wounded one. Can there be honor in this release? So I kind of was going into that retreat, yes, to hold space, but knowing that the divine works in mysterious ways. I'm always humble to receive from wherever. So I go to one of my favorite sacred grounds where I do a lot of energy work when I'm getting ready to open a container, especially for sacred space, and just all the time. I go there and I'm laying down and I'm receiving guidance on what to bring the couples through for our teachings, receiving just codes of things that I'm going to weave into the container. I'm just there to receive. And I hear it again. It's time to become a devoted bride of Christ. Oh, God. And this voice, it doesn't have tones. So you're not like, time. It's just like, it is time. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It is time. And it is saying it in a way where it just kind of vibrates into your cells that you can't receive it with, it's a high pitch emotion. It's a low pitch. It's just like, it is what it is. And that I'm being guided to find a bluebird and follow it. And you can't make this shit up, guys. And this, I will tell you, I have pictures. I'm going to share. Can I share them? Yes. Because sometimes my team has me take photos and videos and for things that are going to go in the book of Salwa that'll get published one day when I feel safe for it to be published. Not yet. So I always document things. I scribe miraculous things. I scribe things that I see, that I receive, and I'm like, you can't make this shit up. So I know, okay, they're telling me to look out for the bluebird. I'm laying on the ground. There's going to be a bluebird, apparently. Bluebird, and I should follow it. So I'm laying there. I'm like, no pressure, bluebird, but I might have to pee in the next 30 minutes. So you better get here. All of a sudden, cute little blue jay. I'll show you guys a picture. This is, if you're listening, you might really want to click to a video because the videos and pictures I'm going to show you are just like too good. Okay, so I have the blue jay show up. Took a picture of it. It's so stoic and beautiful. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, I heard you're supposed to take me somewhere. So let's go, bird. So the bird starts flying to my right. I don't know. I don't do northeast, whatever, to my right. So we headed right, walking. And then all of a sudden, I'm walking past this tree and this statue of Yeshua falls over. And it caught my attention because it's very still there. There was no wind. It was super still. And I'm like, oh, that statue of Yeshua just fell over by the tree. Let's go pick up Yeshua. Yeshua, you didn't come this far to only come this far. I will pick you up. You know, you do so much for us. Let me pick you up. So I go and Gandhi's next to Yeshua. And I see that underneath the Yeshua statue, there is this little hole. And I'm guided to look in there and there's a ring. You can't make this shit up, guys. There's this ring. I'm going to show you guys this video of the ring. And it is this rose gold ring with like white blingy things. I wasn't going to check. I wasn't going to be like, are these real? Like, that's just not how you do the divine, right? They're not, their kingdom is not from here. So it could be cubic zirconia. What it stands for is what really matters. So at this point, I have a lot of emotion going through my body. So I don't know how to receive this because I have just been receiving this guidance. I was told to follow this bird. It's walking by the tree. Yeshua falls over. There's a ring under Yeshua and it's my size. Because you better believe I picked it up and I took off my engagement ring, the one I was wearing. I was like, can I just try it on just for size? And it fits perfectly. And I'm like, holy divine shit. I did ask for a sign. I did make the joke. Where's my ring though? This is sign AF, right? I'm processing a lot of emotion. As I share the story, I can't retell the emotion because it's just too much. And then I'm looking at the ring that I have found. And then I'm looking at the ring that I have from Tony. And I am very aware that this comes with a choice. And this comes with a choice that is not going to be an easy choice. I told you guys I was going to get very emotional on this episode. But they are pushing me to share in the most beautiful way. So I know this is going to come with a choice. And I'm not ready to make the choice because I want to understand. And even what just happened, I'm like, thank God for smartphones, right? Because I need to document this even for myself. And I put the ring back. Because I am aware that this is not how this works. This path of devotion that I'm being called to is one that I will rise into solo. And solo meaning so much more than solo. But for all intents and purposes of physical relationship, it's funny that Gandhi was next to Yeshua because I thought, well, now I have to do what I have to do. So I put the ring back because I haven't made the choice and I still have the retreat to host. And so, you know, what's interesting with my team, they really bring huge truth bombs on me right before retreats, before Universal Temple of Lights, always. And then those containers, as I step in to serve and hold others, really help hold me as I rise into the action that those are asking of me. So that retreat happened. I have had this proposal moment with Yeshua, no big thing. And I know that I have a choice to make and I am asking the divine to make it very clear. I mean, as if they have it, right? Like I need a sign, make it really clear. This is a huge decision. Please don't let me hurt somebody I love so much or myself and make a decision that I'm maybe interpreting wrong. But at this point, I'm just like not sure how much more I can ask of them sign-wise. So we have the ceremony and by way of one of the sisters, and I won't share her experience because I do value the sanctity and the privacy of those in the containers. But by way of one of the sisters, they showed her something she didn't know she was receiving. She had to come up to me and tell me the next day what she experienced and saw. And I was like, I know what I have to do. Doesn't make it easier when you know what you have to do to follow devotion. I know the choice that I have to make. I'm clear on the answer. I'm not very clear on the how or the timeline or the what follows, but that is where blind faith comes in. Because when you are receiving guidance and knowing that is so strong, combined with unmeasurable in importance, sanctity, and hugeness of ceremonial happenings beyond in this realm. Like I said, Book of Salwa, we'll go in there. There is no way to not take an action on this choice and still honor the path of devotion. So I believe that this was a test for me, not in, is this true, but in, are you willing, ready, and able to be devoted to this level of truth? And of course I was, but you better believe that it was not easy and that it came with a lot of human tears. And I will just quickly recap that the next couple steps are a whirlwind that could have only been made possible by the orchestrating hand of God and forces of the angelic, just kind of placing things where they needed to be in order to help me end up where I needed to be and provide this home and furnish it and have it temple ready. And most importantly, create a safe, joyful place for my kids. You know, as any mom, that's what you want. You never want your kids to feel like, oh, mom's on this devotion path and now she's going through this big life change and we're just going along for the ride. My kids, though, they're like, Mom, we've always seen this ride. It's about time. It is time. They're so wise. But I always want them to feel like, Mom's got this. So many aspects of this move, I surrendered to God, the how, and it was just laid out one after another. And something that I know that I have to share to have feeling the ping, the next level of this devotion path, right? Because, okay, I have created a new home. I have released a relationship that was so meaningful to me. Probably lots of explaining to do to a lot of people, but I don't have time for explaining because I am in devotion and I am on a mission. And those of you that know me and my mission, which is so much bigger than me, like there is no time to go and have all these happy hours with people and catch them up and create drama that they want to be able to justify a story that just is. Because that is what the devoted path that I'm on asked. And it is a path that serves the greater good and it serves everybody involved. It serves Tony, it serves me. I know that we are all extremely blessed because of it. I cannot attach to what that looks like in the end because the end is the beginning. So all I know is that there's going to be eternal devotion. And that sounds pretty great. Eternal love, eternal devotion. Yes. Thank you. I'm in. But I have to share this next story, okay? Because my team really wants me to share this one. And I did ask why. I'm like, are you just like showing off or what is this one about? And they said, this is not showing off. This is showing how the divine can transcend the world of matter and send signs that are from us. And we would like for humans to believe that it is possible and for us to restore the belief in miracles and not have them be a thing of the past. Which truly, humanity is getting so cynical. It's hard to really believe. It's hard to receive light. So they want me to share so that it can be an example of their work, how they, from their realms, can really transcend into this physical form and work through people and through objects. So the story of this piece behind me, which is so magical and so special. So I had it made. My vision for my bedroom was this knowing that it had to be this place of immaculate truth and peace. And in whatever capacity I could make it happen, a queendom. Because it's restoring a kingdom. That was the mantra for setting this room. And although I didn't fully know what that meant, I'm like, on it, you've come to the right person because I'm kind of extra. So this is what I do. And I'm on a budget, but if you guys just show the way. And they did. So I found this woman that refurbishes old furniture. So I'm like, okay, we're going to find old pieces. I'm going to get my creative juices going because I am a designer. And we are going to create these magical pieces. And she was so into this project that she kept bringing her own waves of inspiration. And I could see the Holy Spirit working through her. I don't know if she knows that. I don't know if she needs to know that because it doesn't take away from the potency of it. But there was a lot in this project of bringing my room together that I can only attribute to the hands of God. And now, gift for me saying yes to taking this devoted bride of Christ, I think was a lot of the pieces in here. But I still had questions. I have questions. In my humanness, I want to know, okay, so am I like a modern day nun? Am I done with relationships? It's okay if I am. I just would like clarity based on everything that I have lived, that is going to go in the book of Salwa one day and other realms and the ceremonial unions and whatnot. Like, I feel like I know the answer, but if I could just get more affirmation that that is indeed truth and not me like making stories, please send me signs. So this piece is going to get delivered, the piece behind me. Once again, you guys might want to watch videos so you can really see. It's getting delivered on a Wednesday. I'm hosting a Sacred Heart ceremony with women on Friday. The man that is driving it from Florida to here asks if he can actually come early and deliver it on a Saturday. And I'm thinking, well, that's like 4 days early. I can't say no because he's from out of state. What am I going to ask him to hang out in Colorado for that long? But dear Yeshua, why Saturday? I'll be wrapping up sacred space with my women. But I keep feeling and knowing that this delivery is part of the ceremony in some capacity. So I just say yes and hope and pray that it falls in the perfect timing so it doesn't interrupt parts where I really can't step away. So he shows up with the delivery, and at this point, it's actually good. I have closed the container of the gathering. However, we have a hape extension, and the women are going to go outside and do hape with another of the sisters. So it's actually a perfect time for me to step away for the other ceremonial part of this gathering, because even though I know that it's part of this somehow, I don't know how. So to my recollection, I am leaving the space with incense and candles and sisterhood, and I'm going to go to like a truck to take furniture out. And the man, he really believes in my strength, this man, because I am looking at this piece and I'm telling him, this is a lot of weight to bear, sir. Should I call somebody to help us? And he looks at me, he's like, no, you're strong. Look at those muscles. We're going to do this together. He's got an accent. I'm like, I like your confidence. If you knew I was up all night, but okay. So we take this wood thing. It's heavy because it's solid wood. It's on my back. I'm carrying it at the bottom. It's on my back and he's carrying it at the top. This climb up the stairs feels like eternal. It's like we take a couple steps and we have to stop. We take more, we have to stop. Then I have this feeling like we should switch places and I should be at the top and him at the bottom. So he's like, okay. So we switched spots and now I'm at the top and now I'm pulling it. And all of a sudden I feel this excruciatingly painful, sharp thing go through my hand, by my ring hand. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I don't know what else to say. And he gets startled. And so we put the thing down and I have what just went through my hand, a nail. A nail pierced me right here and I'm bleeding. And I'm kind of panicking because I don't know how deep it went, but I know that I'm bleeding and I'm still holding space. So I don't want to be not available for the women. That's really where my mind goes. Like if I have to go get stitched up or something, this is not a good time. And I'm sitting in that. And all of a sudden this man looks at me, this man that knows nothing about the intention that I set before this ceremony, which was to get further clarity on my level of commitment to this Bride of Christ path. So this man that knows nothing looks at me and he's like Christ at the crucifixion. Now that's the type of commitment we like to see because of my nail that went through my hand. And I'm like, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. And I just love how the divine works through people in mysterious ways because he has no idea what he just did for me with those words. He is a messenger of God. He doesn't know it. He's a furniture delivery guy for the day. He doesn't know it. The woman that worked on my furniture, the divine Holy Spirit was creating through her for my bedroom. She doesn't know it. So I just take this blot of toilet paper and I wrap my hand. And he's like, should we keep going? I'm like, yeah, we didn't come this far to only come this far. Let's keep going all the way. So we carry this thing up. And, at this point, my little tissue that I wrap my hand with is soaked in blood. So I know once we finish what we started, I need to go wash my hand and make sure I'm not going to get some metal disease. But here's the thing. When we put this furniture piece where it belonged and we made it to where we needed to make it to, it was the last thing in my mind. At that point, I was just receiving the miracle. And I thought, this is wow. But wait, there's more. Because then he let me know that she let him know to check the top drawer for some extra gifts that she included for me. Now, this woman doesn't know me. And when I say that the divine works through people in mysterious ways, she doesn't know me. There's no connection here. She doesn't know me. But one night she sent me a picture and she said, you can see where I'm pointing up, the gold Yeshua and the gold Mary. She sent me a picture of those heads. She's like, I feel like those need to go home with you. I'm going to paint them gold and I'm going to put them in your armor. At that point, I'm like, okay. It's because that if I told you what happened that day, you would be even more blown away, but too much explaining. But then we get up here, and the nice man that just spoke the words to me, like Christ at the crucifixion, now that's the type of commitment we like to see, says, there's a gift for me at the top drawer. I'm thinking, there's more? So he tells me to look in the top drawer. She sends other gifts. Now, I want to preface this by saying that, yes, I am seeking more guidance on, is this truly a path that I am supposed to walk? And what does the next level of commitment and devotion look like? So devotion to Christ, check. I'm also in devotion to wisdom, embodying it, bringing it, honoring it, and in whatever the message is that I'm here to bring that has always been symbolic to me through a book, which is why I'm always like, oh, I'm going to write that book. Now I understand that it might not have to be a book, although I do keep prefacing the book of Salwa. Maybe it's going to be speaking, but the book thing is very symbolic to me. So I look in the drawer and there is this gold book. I'm going to show you guys if you're watching. Look how beautiful it is. Gold, I don't know, plated, mached, something. And I'm like, holy shit, holding it with my one hand that really hurts. But this is my gift of acknowledgement of devotion to wisdom. This is Sophia consciousness. This is Sophia. I know it's a book, but what it means to me is so much bigger. And how random. And it has 2 pillars. And the other gift that she included. Let me preface by saying that in one of my ceremonial ordainments that happened, that I will put in the book of Salwa one day, there was a moment of 2 sun discs, and I bore witness to the importance of those 2 sun discs both being in perfect harmony and balance. What else was in that drawer? That circle that she painted and put there was in that top drawer. Woman doesn't know me. She's definitely not with me when I go to these realms to step into this work. So it's like, talk about divine orchestration. Talk about miracle. Because any time that these forces can transcend the world of matter and send you signs that are beyond signs, as if I needed them, right? I know they're making fun of me because we're very indirect attunement. But sometimes I like to go into my humanness and be like, prove it, send gifts. After that moment, I went outside. I had my hand wrapped in toilet paper, and I was like determined to share with the sisters that were meant to hear this and bear witness to, well, the hand, but then also the story and what just happened and the gifts. And I took my hape and I went in and I was shown exactly what I need to do in the next 7 months to fulfill this devoted bride of Christ path. Wasn't shown much beyond. I'm not saying that it's not going to continue. I just think it's going to continue differently after August. And my job is to fully surrender and understand my assignment in full union with the energy of Yeshua, meaning that I'm not dating modern day nun. Sure, I think it's so much bigger than that. And it is a decision and a choice that I have made, that I have taken on with such great devotion, that the challenges of it are secondary to the honor of it. It does not mean that they're not there. It does not mean that there's not moments of, this is too much, or are we sure? Or why me? That would put me back in desire mode. That would put me back in desire mode of desiring to be reunited with Yeshua, how I was as a kid. That was, when I think about it, in my teen years, when I started to feel that separation, when I started to feel that wiring of, no, you can't be that connected to Christ. You need the gatekeeper. You need the book that teaches you how. You can't be the book. I'm like, bitch, I am the book. Look at my book. We are here to be the walking revelation. They just don't know. So can't go back to the desire of feeling that separation. Once I transmuted it to holy desire is when I really started my ministry. But now it's on another level of devotion that I know is going to serve the highest good. And I have surrendered everything and every day I am open to surrendering what I am shown that is ready to be surrendered. I hope nobody around me is scared, like thinking that that I'm going to hurt them. You know why I say that? When I was a kid, my sister, my big sister, she would tell me and my little sister, Marlon, if God told me to kill you, I would. And I was like, okay, what God are you talking to? Just want to make sure if I should sleep in the other room. No, surrender is the greatest act of love, but it's also the greatest act of courage. And that is where I'm at. And I look at my life and I look at the journey of desire, and then taking that into a healing and transcendence to holy desire, and then really allowing that to be risen to the path of devotion. And I do not serve if I don't share more illustrations of how my life path has taken me through that. So I'm grateful for my team for encouraging me to share that. I'm grateful for the future book of Salwa, however that comes out, because I know there's so much more to share that I want to share, not for me, but for everybody to be inspired at a whole other level of what is possible when you just surrender and devote your life to God, and what that looks like, Christ, and what that looks like. But for now, I think this has been long enough. So I'm going to close us in a prayer. Dear Mother, Father God, I want to give so much gratitude for my brothers and sisters here today. I ask that in this holy transmission, they are given new level awareness of where their desires lie, that they are able to see any blind spots of where their desires are pointing them to be more fulfilled within, and that they are given the courage and clarity on how to transcend their desires to be holy desires, and that they can live in faith knowing that when their holy desire is fulfilled for them, it serves all. And may those that are seeking a path of devotion and seeking clarity on what that looks like be shown, but also be surrendered and let it be pure love. And so it is, in all space and time, I am. Thank you for tuning in to the Feminae Christi Podcast. Your presence here is the greatest gift. If you would like to help grow this movement and help this energetic container reach more people, it is also greatly appreciated for you to share with anybody and everybody that you feel would benefit from this container. Your likes, comments, engagement also help me to better serve you. I would love to know what lands with you, what you want more of. Until next time, go out there and shine that light.